everybody. Nice to be here with you for practice this morning or this evening or whatever time of day it is where you are. Calling this Begin Again. So welcome back. I hope that you're hanging in wherever you are during this time of still self-quarantine here where we are. Sometimes it seems that this is going to be our new normal for a while. So I hope that you're hanging in okay. For me, this is the beginning again of movement and breath and presence, and trying to get my energy moving to move kind of out of a lower energy stagnancy phase. It's sort of been around for the past few weeks. So I had a teacher, for those of you that knew Primo, he used to say, move a muscle, move a thought. And sometimes it's easier said than done, especially when the mind's sort of grasping onto different thought structures, kind of really dig in. So hopefully you can find it within you to get moving, excuse me, to just help your energy flow a little bit more freely, especially if you're starting to feel stagnant. For me, it's kind of like a domino effect. Non-movement kind of, it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg, the mind or the non-movement, but they kind of go hand in hand. Negative mind states, non-movement, and then it's just kind of, I call it like the quicksand of those states of being, that that slippery slope that can sometimes be hard to get out of. And we can learn a lot by being in those states of being also. Commitment to practice, your go-tos as far as how you stay afloat, keeping your head above water, how you put one foot in front of the other, and really where you pull that energy from to either be in that state or to start to move that energy through. So we'll start just with presence, and then with some movement and with some breath. So come on up to a stand. Be at the back of your mat. Start to rock forward and back on your feet. Let your shoulders soften. Just notice the low back. See if you can find a heaviness in your tailbone. Zip up the belly. So draw the energy of your core in and up. Lengthen out of your waist, and then soften those shoulders. Find a plumb line of balance from your shoulders down through your hips, right down through the feet. Find an evenness in the chin, so a parallel chin to earth or a slight tuck of the chin. Spin your palms forward, find a heaviness in your arms. Take a big deep breath in through the nose, followed by a full breath out through the mouth. As you land here in this moment, notice your internal dialogue. See if you can find some celebratory, positive affirmations to acknowledge your return to the mat. Maybe you practiced earlier in the day, maybe you practiced yesterday, maybe it's been a while since you rolled out your mat and came back to structured movement, structured practice, right? So practice can take on many forms. Practice is sometimes establishing a routine, a ritual. Practice can be continually inviting the mind back to presence. Practice can be rolling out the mat and exploring posture. So find some celebratory affirmations. You did it. Here you are. Celebrate that. Come into conversation with your breath. Breathe in and out through the nose. The palms spin toward the legs, and as you breathe in and out, feeling the belly expand and hug in, circle the shoulders up, back, and around. Keep coming back to that internal dialogue within the mind and really choose where to focus the mind, and also how you might encourage the energy within to shift, either to stay in a positive direction or to keep coming back into a place of positivity. No matter how hard. Change the direction of your shoulder circles. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he said that sometimes when we're in the heavier mind states, those sort of dramatic states of being, self-pity, feeling the victim, or having a hard time getting out of your own way, that sometimes joy is a really far leap to make. Step your feet a little bit wider, hands to the hips, circle through the hips. So sometimes joy is a really hard leap to make from those heavier mind states. But the step that you might take is just to recognize the state of mind, to practice self-care, a long warm bath or a long shower. Maybe you give yourself a foot rub. How can you take care of yourself? Maybe it's a good meal. So it's gradually moving along the emotional scale. Sometimes at the bottom of that scale, it's hard to leap to the top. But how can you take a step? And that step really might just be giving yourself the help and time that you need to be in an emotional state until it moves through. But it's getting that energy moving, that stagnancy that sometimes settles in. Widen the feet, come on down to a squat. Your choice on how wide you have the feet here. Just shift your weight side to side. Take care of your knees. Just come down as far as your knees will allow. Keep using the breath to help support this moment. Yourself here in this moment just as you are. Release the hands to the mat, parallel the feet, straighten your legs, fingertips along the shins, come up halfway with a flat back. Round the spine, tuck the tailbone under, roll up on your inhale, and again circle the shoulders up, back, and around. Invite space in the upper chest, a rooting down of the tailbone. This time lift the gaze, open through your throat center. And as those shoulders circle up, back, and around, hips tip forward, spin your palms forward, open up through the upper chest, scoop the seat under. Find length from fingertip to fingertip here. Inhale, arms reach to the sky. Come into a neutral pelvis. Exhale, hands to the heart. Chin for chest. Inhale, arms reach, down, out, and up. Root down through the tailbone, lengthen out of the waist. Look up, hands to heart. Exhale, chin for chest. And keep it going. Inhale, arms reach down, out, and up. Root down through the feet. Get tall in the waist. Root down through the tailbone. Hands to heart. Exhale. Listen to the sound of the breath. Feel the body. Where can the body hug in to help lengthen, to help support the lengthening out of the waist? Where can the body root down, perhaps through the feet or the tailbone, to help support the rising up of the heart and the gaze and the arms? This time, as the arms reach out and up, slide your right hand down the outside of your right leg. Reach your left arm up and over. Look up beyond your left fingers. Look down beyond the right fingers. Look up beyond the left and down beyond the right. Keep relaxing the right shoulder. Come up through center. Slide your left hand down the outside of the left leg. Hips dip to the right. Look up. Look down. Keep drawing the left hip forward. Relax the left shoulder. Look up. Breathing here. Look down. Look forward. Look up. And then come all the way back up. Pivot your toes to face out, your heels to face in, and again, come on down to a squat. Shift your weight side to side, root down through the tailbone, soften the shoulders. Breathing here, notice the mind's inner dialogue. Again, to commit to those positive affirmations. Here you are, you're doing it, you made it back. Come back again and again and again to this moment and choose the mind's words. Maybe it's Om. Maybe it's a mantra. Release your hands down to the mat, parallel the feet, straighten the legs, fingertips along the shins, root down into the feet, spiral your inner thighs behind you, lift up through your tailbone, chest forward, shoulders down the back. Feel the waist, feel the belly, lengthen the waist. Exhale, come into a forward bend. Walk your hands forward. Keep your feet wide. You're stepping into a wide plank. Feel your fingertips. Zip that belly in and forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Modified here is a tabletop. Use the breath. Reach out through the heels. Soften the shoulders. Soften your elbows. Little pulses here in the elbows, whether you're in a plank or a tabletop. Try not to let the hips sag. Knees to mat. Seat to heels. Child's pose. Keep the head elevated here. Wiggle through the hips. Feel your finger pads. Shoulders again down the back. Lift your inner upper arms toward the sky. So an external rotation of your upper arms. Try to hollow out the armpits. Come up through a tabletop. From your tabletop, inhale, seat to sky, chest up, look up, cow. Exhale, round the spine to cat. Inhale to your cow. Exhale to your cat. Keep it going. From here, come into your neutral spine. Step your right foot out to the right. Toes face the front of your mat. Come on up to the left shin and the right foot. Inhale, arms reach to the sky. Big breath in, look up. Exhale, right hand down the top of that right leg. Left arm up and over. And as you do this, draw your left hip forward and your right hip back. Draw your left hip forward and your right hip back. Then draw your right hip forward and your left shoulder back. Just notice the difference in sensation. Left hip forward, right hip back. Look down that right leg. Then draw the right hip forward, left shoulder back. Look up. A couple more times. Left hip forward, right hip back. Look down at the top of that right leg. Right hip forward, left shoulder back. Look up. Come all the way back up. Release that left arm. Draw that right knee in and come back to your tabletop. From your tabletop, tuck your toes. Lift your seat back to a down dog. So your inverted V. Pedal out the feet. One knee bends, that heel lifts, opposite heel stretches for the floor. Big breaths in and out through the nose. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Step your feet slightly wider than hip distance, maybe even mat distance apart. Engage the belly, a soft bend to the knees. Slowly roll up. Circle your shoulders up, back, and around. Check in with the mind. Notice its dialogue. If it's judgmental, if it's critical, shift it. Redirect the focus. Implement positive affirmation or mantra. Hands to the hips, feet step mat distance apart, circle through the hips. Calling in fluidity here, movement. Planting the seeds of states of flow in order to remember to practice when ease is challenging, when struggle is present, and practicing when it's easy, when states of flow are the reality of the moment, right? So times when it's easy, times when it's challenging. Krishna Das says we practice when we can to get us through when we can't. And what does practice look like when the mind is active, when the emotions are heavy? How do you get through? Change the direction of your hip circles. Good. Toes pivot out, heels pivot in. Sit down back into your squat. Shift your weight side to side. Hands can be on blocks, on a chair. Seat might be brushing the earth. Seat might be way up high. So take care of your knees. What is it that you need? And how will you practice? What is it that you need and how will you practice? How is it that you want to live? And thus, how will you practice? So it's important to remember that life is in a constant state of flux and change, even though right now it sort of seems to me like every day is pretty much the same in this state of quarantine. But emotional states are changing, mind states are changing. Everything is in a constant state of change. So how can you recognize imbalance when it shows up, stagnancy when it starts to set in? And how can your practice support you through those times? How can you find that commitment to redirect the mind, the commitment to practice and what that looks like? Sometimes it's more movement that's needed. Sometimes it's music that's needed. For me, I use mantra a lot, listening to mantras or reading positive spiritual texts that give little insights on how to continue the course, how to come back, straighten the legs, parallel the feet, fingertips along the shins, look forward. I journal. Maybe you journal. Little sayings to help the mind remember to come back, that the state of being that's present will shift. It will pass. Exhale, fold. Walk forward into a plank. Reach out through the heels. And again, to remember that sometimes joy is too far of a leap. Breathe in and breathe out. Sometimes the best that we can do is just try to stay afloat, to keep the head above water, to keep swimming, to put one foot in front of the other, one day at a time, one moment at a time, one breath at a time. Knees to mat, seat to heels, child's pose. This time, let the forearms soften, let the head land on the floor, a block, or stacked hands or fists. Sway those hips side to side. Come on up through a tabletop, cow and cat the spine. Inhale, seat to sky, chest up, look up, inhale. Exhale, round the spine. Breathe in and breathe out. Come into your neutral spine. Step the left foot right out from the left hip. Toes face forward. Come on up to the right shin and the left foot. Slide your left hand down the top of the left leg. Right arm reaches up and over. From here, draw the right hip forward and the left hip back. Look down along that left leg. Then draw the left hip forward and the right shoulder back to look up. Forward with the right shoulder, back with the left hip, look down. Forward with the left hip, back with the right shoulder, look up. Forward and back. Calling in space to that right rib cage. Keep softening the left shoulder. Increasing your ability here to feel. Your ability to hold space for sensation and to be in conversation with that which you feel. Come on back up. Bring the left shin to meet the right. Knees right beneath the hips. Tops of the feet to the floor. Arms reach to the sky. Look up. Bring those arms parallel to the floor. Keeping your shoulders, hips, and knees in the same plane, start to lean back. Exhale. You'll feel this in your quads, chest up. So often what happens is the seat wants to draw back, but keep drawing the seat forward as you lean back. Inhale, arms reach up, hips over knees, shoulders over hips. Exhale, come on back. Shoulders, hips, and knees in the same plane, chest up. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, and if this is too much for your knees, you can always tuck the toes under and have the heels elevated. Inhaling up, exhale back. Keep it going. Keep that belly engaged. 3 more. Twice more. Loose, slow jaw. Let there be space between your upper and lower sets of teeth. Good, and then all the way back up. Left hand slides down the outside of the left leg, right arm up and over. Draw your left hip forward and your right shoulder back, look up. Come up through center. Right hand slides down the outside of the right leg. Stretch up and over, switching sides. You might explore the direction of gaze. Come on up to center, arms reach up. Bring the heels of your hands to the small of your low back here. Fingers face the seat, hips dip down and ahead, arc your spine up and back, open through the heart, open through the throat, elbows in, broaden the collarbone space. Choose your positive affirmations of mind. Here you are. You're doing it. Celebrate the movement of breath, your ability to feel. Celebrate being alive in this moment. Your health. Planting seeds of joy, knowing that joy will return. If it's not part of your present reality, it will resurface. Inhale, head up. Exhale, hands in front of you to a tabletop. From your tabletop, step your left leg out, left toes face forward. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, and step your right foot out. So you're coming to a wide standing forward bend. Shift your weight side to side here, bend into one knee. Those toes spin out, weight shifts side to side. Breathing into inner groins, hamstrings. Use your breath. From here, parallel those feet. Left hand comes just in front of the gaze. Right arm reaches to the sky for a twist. Lengthen out of your waist. Let that left hip scoop under. Release this hand down and switch sides. Release this hand down. Walk your hands back toward your feet. Heel toe your feet to about a 2.5 foot distance apart stance. Toes out, heels in, bend the knees deeply. Come on up to your horse stance, to your goddess stance. Weight shift side to side. Ease in the shoulders. From your goddess, release your right forearm down to the top of the right thigh. Right palm faces up. Reach the left arm up and over. Look up. Sink down into the seat. Let this left arm lead the way up and over to the left side. Right arm stretches. Sit down. Look up. Come on up through center. Hands to the tops of the thighs. Straighten the legs. Parallel the feet. Big breath in, full breath out. Circle the shoulders up, back, and around. Heel toe the feet to hip distance apart. From hip distance apart stance, arms reach to the sky. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend the knees, drop the seat, sit down to an awkward chair. Release the arms. Inhale, arms reach up, stand up tall. Exhale, sit back to your awkward chair. Inhale, arms reach down and up, stand up tall. And then keep it going. Exhale, arms can stay up or those hands can come into prayer. Inhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Rooting down to rise up every time those arms reach high. This time, with or without something to hold on to, I'm going to pivot to hold on to the door here. See about rising up onto the balls of the feet and then sitting down. See about bringing those Femurs parallel to the floor. Again, taking care of your knees with or without the hold. Then slowly rise up, heels elevated or not. Arms reach to the sky. Heels come down if they're not already down. Release the arms. Shake out your right leg. And then the left. Inviting energy to move freely through this body. Inviting energy to move freely through the mind. Right arm, shake it out. Inviting emotional body to move freely through. Inviting left arm, shake it out. Feet widen to the outsides of the mat, back to your hip circles. First in one direction, then the other. Big deep breath in through the nose, full breath out through the mouth. Feet come back to hip distance apart, soft bend to the knees, seat scoops under, let that undulation travel all the way up to the center of the chest, head drops back at the top of the inhale. So this is called Sarpa, serpentine movement in the spine, hips forward, chest up, shoulders back, head up. All with breath, ease in the shoulders. All the way back up to your stand for a big sun breath. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, hands down the midline, hinge at your hips, fold with a flat back. Halfway up, breathe in, look forward and lengthen. Exhale, fold, walk those hands out to a plank. From your plank pose, flip to the tops of your feet, either coming down to your belly for your cobra, right, tops of the feet, either letting those hips come down for your cobra, elbows bend, chest up, or you're keeping straight arms as the hips dip forward and the chest lengthens forward for your up dog. Knees to mat. Walk the hands beneath the shoulders, knees widen, seat for heels, child's pose. Press that mat away. From your wide knee child's pose, keep your left arm extended. Thread the right arm underneath the left to forearm or shoulder. The head might come down to a block or a mat, or the head might stay elevated. Breathe in and breathe out. Slide this left hand back. Bend the elbow. Fingers tent right below your elbow, a cactus to this left arm. Open up through the left shoulder. Lots of breath. Inviting a wringing out of stagnant energy here. Knowing that expansion and contraction are part of life, right? Part of the rhythm of life. Higher energy states, lower energy states, all part of the conversation of being alive. How you navigate the journey is really the practice. Let the left arm extend, let the right arm unthread. Switch sides, left arm threads under the right. Slide this right hand back beneath your elbow. Tended fingers open up through the right shoulder. Rotate that left rib cage under, open the right rib cage back. Breathe in and breathe out. Release the right arm, extend it long, stretch the left arm long. Come up through your tabletop, narrow the knees, downward facing dog all the way back. Pedal out the feet, move through your hips, integrate where you've just been. Celebrate being alive in this moment as you focus the mind. Choose the inner dialogue. Find something to celebrate. Walk the feet to meet the hands, coming to the front of your mat. Rise up halfway with a flat back. Look forward, inhale. Reach that seat to the sky. Broaden the heart center. Try not to lock the knees. Exhale, fold. Keep the left foot forward. Step your right foot back for a lunge. Pivot your right heel to the floor. Float the left forearm to the top of the left thigh. Right arm reaches to the sky. Lateral angle. Feel the stability of your feet. You might be leaning into a wall here for extra balance. Circle through this right arm. Envisioning a cleaning of the portal of your perception, letting some sunlight and positivity in. Change the direction of your rotations. Sometimes when heavier states of mind or emotion move through, it really takes that reaching out to someone else to help shift perspective, to help stay afloat, to help support presence. Pause with this right arm reaching to the sky. Straighten through the left leg. Press the back of the left hand to the inside of the left calf. Straighten the left leg. Look up. This is your triangle. Bend into the left knee. Slide the right hand down the back of the right leg. Reach the left arm to the sky. Peaceful warrior. Straighten into the left leg. Reach your left thumb behind you. This is your reverse triangle. Root down into the feet. Find the breath. Find a staying power. Right? Relax. Pause. When you're in quicksand, the worst thing that you can do is panic, struggle, fight it. Relax. Breathe. Trust. Pause. Bend into the left knee, hands frame the left foot. Come onto the ball of the right foot. Release your right knee down to the mat. Right hand plants. Left arm reaches to the sky for a twist. You might heel toe this left foot out to the left just a little bit more and root down into the big toe ball mound of this left foot. Keep breathing. Release left hand down to the mat. Heel toe this left foot back toward the midline. Right knee stays down or it comes up. Roll for the outside of this left foot. Maybe roll for the outside of the right foot also. Hips just shift side to side. Talking with outer glutes on that left side. Getting into upper hamstrings. Soft bend to the elbows. Lots of breath. Come back onto the ball of that right foot. If you're on the outer edge, release your right knee to the mat. From here, hands frame the left foot. Step that left foot forward. Straighten into the left leg as much as possible. You might use blocks or grab onto something close to you. Hips rock side to side. As much of a bend as you need in this left knee to accommodate limitations and hamstrings in the back of this left leg. Bend into this left knee, slide the left leg back to meet the right. Come on up to your shins, feet, knees, hip distance apart. Tuck your toes under, reach your left hand back for the left heel, back of the left thigh, or the left side of your low back with fingers facing seat. Right arm reaches up and back. Hips dip forward. Arc your spine up and back. Reach back, open through the heart, open through the throat. Inhale all the way up to switch sides. Right hand reaches back for center of the low back, or the back of your right thigh or your right heel. Left arm up and back. Reach back for your camel. Tailbone down and ahead. Scoop that belly in and up. Lengthen out of the waist. Reach up through the heart. Inhale up through center. Come back to neutral. From here, hands meet the mat. Tuck the toes. Lift your seat back to a down dog. Pedal out the feet. Move through your hips. Use your breath. Slowly walk these feet to meet the hands. With feet hip distance apart, find a soft bend to the knees. Engage the belly, root down into the feet. Slowly roll up. Circle your shoulders up, back, and around. Still with these feet hip distance apart, find a bend to the knees. Open the arms wide, scoop the seat under, open through that upper chest. Inhale. On your exhale, round the spine. Give those arms a big hug. Arc that belly in and up. As you're standing cat-cow. Inhale, seats, reaches back, chest up, look up. Exhale, hug and round the spine. Scoop that seat under, chin for chest. 4 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Feel your way through. Let that internal heat build in the quads. Inhale. Stick with it. Exhale. It will shift, it will change, it will pass. This time, straighten the legs, open the arms all the way up. Big sun breath. Arms reach up on the inhale. Hands to heart. Allow yourself to pause. Find a heaviness in the chin, that plumb line of balance from the shoulders all the way down through the arches of the feet. Maybe the eyes close. Release the arms, palms spin forward. Notice what you're aware of, what it is that you feel. Notice the inner dialogue of mind. What are you able to control? What can you work with? Where can you place your focus, your practice? By asking, what are you able to control? I mean the mind. So where can you direct the focus of mind again and again and again? What can you work with? Where do you need support? On your next inhale, root down through the feet, arms reach out and up. Find a big breath in, rooting down to rise up. Hands down the midline, hinge at your hips, fold with a flat back. Halfway up, breathe in, look forward, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Step or hop back to a plank pose. Reach out through those heels, lengthen forward through the heart. A micro bend in your elbows. From here, release your knees down to the mat, tabletop. Round your spine into a cat arc to pause. Come back to neutral. Step your right foot forward between the hands. Tuck your back toes under, lift the back knee. Pivot your back heel to the floor. Float your right forearm to the top of the right thigh. Left arm reaches to the sky. Circle through this left arm. Keep connecting with your toes. Keep lengthening out of the waist by rooting that right arm down. Polish the perspective of your gaze here. Change the direction of your arm circles. Can you call in compassion? Can you call in loving awareness? Can you plant the seeds of being loving awareness for yourself? Pause with this left arm reaching to the sky. Straighten through the right leg. Back of the right hand presses to the inside of the right leg. Scoop that right seat under. Lengthen out of your waist. Look up. Shoulder blades draw down the back. Bend into the front knee. Right, left hand slides down the back of the left leg. Right arm reaches up. Now straighten into the right leg. Reach your right thumb behind you. Try not to lock your right knee or your left knee. Keep rooting down through the balls of the feet, through the toes, without gripping toes. Come all the way back up. Bend into that right knee. Hands frame the right foot. Come onto the ball of the left foot. Left knee stays up or comes down. Heel toe this right foot back toward the midline just a bit. Roll for the outside of your right foot, maybe for the outside of the left foot. Hips rock side to side. So that left knee can always be down. Soften the shoulders and breathe. And as you feel ready, bring that right knee back over the right ankle. Release your left knee to the mat. Heel toe this right foot out to the right just a little bit. Reach the right arm to the sky. Externally rotate this left arm. Root down through the big toe ball mount of the right foot. That left knee can always be lifted. Twisting, bringing out what no longer serves you. Release your right hand to the inside of the right foot. Pivot the left heel to the floor. Walk your hands toward your left foot, parallel or pigeon toe the feet. So you're coming to your wide standing forward bend. Move through your wide standing forward bend. With breath. If you feel like your hamstrings are at maximum extension, narrow that stance slightly. Press down into the feet. Arms reach out from the shoulders. Slowly come up. Inhale. Hands to heart. Heel toe your feet to that 2.5 foot distance apart stance that we were in previously. Toes out, heels in. Sit down to your Devyasana. Inhale, arms reach up, stretch up. Exhale, hands to heart, bend the knees, drop the seam. Inhale, release the arms, stretch the arms up, straighten the legs. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart, bend the knees. Release the arms. Inhale, root down to rise up. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, drop the seat. Release the arms. Inhale, rise up. Straighten those legs, and then exhale, bend the knees, hands to heart. 4 more. Three more. Feel the toes. Use all of those supports to root down in order to rise up. So what do those supports look like? In the physical body, how do you root down in order to rise up? In the emotional body, what tools of practice to use to root down in order to rise up? In the mind, what is it that you can go to? What can you use? Release the hands, parallel the feet, straighten the legs. Fingertips along the shins, halfway up, flat back, look ahead. Exhale, fold. Right toes pivot to face the front of your mat. Bend into the right knee, come onto the ball of the left foot, step back to a down dog, pedal out your dog. Come forward to a plank pose, flip or roll to the tops of the feet through cobra or up dog. Inhale, exhale to the belly. From your belly, roll to your back. From your back body, reach your legs to the sky. And for a few moments, just hold on to the legs if possible. Root down into the shoulders, root down into the low back. Maybe there's shaking in the legs, energy moving through the body. Bend the knees, find your way to your happy baby. Arches of the feet, lift up. Breathe in and breathe out. Big deep breath in through the nose, full breath out through the mouth. Let the bottoms of your feet come together, pinky toe sides of feet. Land on the mat, reach those arms back, a soft bend to the elbows. Let your head shift side to side. Choose positive affirmations, celebratory statements for the mind. If you can't get there, little movements towards positivity. Self-care, really necessary during these times. As your head comes up through center, let that left knee lift. Draw the left knee in toward the belly on the right side. Explore catching your left knee with your right hand, coming into a twist as you look to the left. Breathe in and breathe out. Come back to your Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees drop out to the sides. Lift your right knee toward the sky and then draw that right knee over the left and bring this right knee in for the belly. See about catching the right knee with the left hand as you look to the right. From this place, come back to your Supta Baddha Konasana, bottoms of the feet together, knees out to the sides. Bring your hands to your outer thighs. Draw those knees back together. Bring your knees in for your belly. Find an easy rock side to side on the back body. Take a big deep breath in through the nose, followed by a full breath out through the mouth. Keep your right knee hugged in. Stretch this left leg long and let the left leg hover above the mat as you plug your shoulders down into the floor. Lengthen out of this left heel. Draw the belly in and down toward that left heel. Switch sides, left knee hugs in, right leg extends, belly in and down. Get long in the waist, even here on your back. Let this right leg land on the mat. Stretch the left leg to the sky. Reach up through the left heel. Stretch away through the back of the left leg. Maybe you hold on to this left leg. And then slowly guide this left leg down to meet the right. Right knee hugs in. Right leg stretches for the sky. Press away through the back of the right knee. Reach up through your right heel. Use your breath. And slowly release this right leg to meet the left. Interlace your fingers, reach your palms behind you, point your toes, get long in the waist, shimmy the hips, get a little bit longer. And scan the body as you relax that stretch. See if there's anything else that you need for movement prior to Shavasana. You might pause the video here, move in your own way for the next few minutes, conversing with body, mind, breath, emotional body, your movement practice, really letting that inner voice of wisdom, life force be your guide. Then at your own time, as you feel called to Shavasana, find any props or layers that you might need to help support you in the practice of surrender. Let there be space between the legs, space between the body and the arms with the palms spun up. Let yourself land. Let this body land into the support of the earth beneath it. Allow the breath to breathe itself. Allow the mind to let go into the sanctuary of this moment. Nothing to do or figure out, just to be. Let the emotional body flow in the presence of here and now. Whatever's there, allow it to be. Let awareness focus on the spaciousness of being, the infinite realm of now, without needing to look back or ahead. Let awareness find freedom in the spaciousness of this moment, just as it is. Stay here as long as you need. I wish you blessings of peace in your practice. Namaste.